was that, dude, you have something in the background that you need to work on. That there's a mentality, there's a mindset break that you have that for whatever reason is keeping you from doing the things that you need to do. And it's keeping you from focusing on the things that you need to focus on. And you're looking at this right here, what's going on around you as the problem. But what's really the problem is what's going on inside of you. And most of you are having issues inside of you that for whatever reason you're trying to ignore because you're just saying, oh yeah, that's just me. I was raised that way. Yeah, that's just me. Or I am justified because this is me. I am justified to feel like this. So when you go out into the world, you start looking at other things as a distraction. And what I told my man is that when you leave here, you're going to have the same exact problem in the next flight because you're dealing with things or you're dealing.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast with the elephant as always. Welcome, it is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is D. Aaron Mack, and we are back here for another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a podcast to do, and it is 4:12 in the morning, and we are on Zoom or Discord. Yeah. It's hard to get the. I would love to get that balance back whenever we start doing real podcasts in the future. And we back in the studio. I realize that I don't have the same level of energy when we in the studio, but things will definitely change. Things will definitely change on that note. So I don't know if I told you, but I'm working on the studio now, and we just added the last few pieces of furniture that we needed to make that joint right.
Okay.
So that joint should be ready, and in the next few weeks. Regardless, ain't nobody using it yet, so it don't even matter.
I mean, it's always best to be prepared, you know.
It was storage space for a while though.
I mean, it happens. We got a couple of rooms that we have like strictly for storage.
It shouldn't happen. It happened to average people, and we were being average. That's why.
This is true. But I mean, that's interesting though, cause like you got the studio right, and then you fixing it up to kind of like prepare for anything. You know, we have this podcast, you know, future podcasts in the work, and hopefully, you know, start back up a couple of partnering podcasts, maybe. Hopeful thinking. I don't know. Did I freeze? What?
Yeah, you did. You did. But it's all good though, because I'm pretty sure because you're recording, you got all of that. However, I'm just hoping that you was not expecting a response to whatever you just said. We gonna lead that in as a marker of exactly how much I hate doing Discord, because you don't freeze like that in person. So I don't know. Like
I would hope not.
I don't know. So like we gonna leave that in. That one that is a perfect example right there. I ain't even gonna move off of that. So I guess that conversation is over. Thank you to country ass internet. That conversation is now done. I'm hoping that don't happen again during the podcast. Especially when I'm talking. At least when you talking, you catch all your stuff. But Um. Anyway, bro. So I got a boss of false
All
to
right.
throw into this episode. I think this would be the first time in a long time that we've actually done a boss of false, and it's I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that, but regardless, I do have one. Um, so as you know, Mark, I've been um I've been in the market to get my windows tinted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, and I've been kind of like uh uh um I've been kind of stalling on it. And I was supposed to get it done like earlier this year before it started getting hot outside. And I'd had numerous of people like catch me in the street, like, because apparently it's like a marketing strategy to roll up on people with with no window tint on their car who look like the same demographic as you and tell them that you tint windows and not have a business card. So apparently that's a thing. Hey, yo, like just roll up on you while you just walking in a parking lot somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
like roll your windows down and say, "Hey, yo, I tint windows."
Okay.
All right, who you? I don't know, but yeah, apparently that's a marketing strategy now. So neither here or there.
Uh.
So Alyssa and I, we sitting in the car in the parking lot one day on lunch break, and there's a person parked next to us,
Uh.
and I realized that they got their windows tinted. And I see this car every day at work, and I never paid it no mind until this particular day. I was looking at their window tint, and like they got, the typical four windows in the back windshield, and three of the four windows in the back windshield are tinted perfectly. But there's this one window on the passenger side that looked like bubble wrap.
Oh.
So I say all that to say this. Would it be a boss or a false move to go ask this person who tinted their windows so that I cannot go to them?
uh. Man. That'd be somewhat of a boss move. I mean, you don't want to, just randomly, get swindled. Somebody, come up to you and they say they can tint windows and they give you this
Sorry.
whole spew of how good they are, and then you don't actually see they work, so you don't have that rapport uh to make a uh
Educated
responsible.
decision.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
we kind of had that situation before with some merch we were trying
Uh,
to.
he hyped himself up.
Yeah.
I mean, he made himself sound like a superstar. He was like, "Yo, I've been doing this for years. I got this equipment here. I did this one." Like, yo, come on. And he couldn't have made that shirt, bro.
He said he couldn't have made
There's no way. I bet you right now, like if I find if I Google search that shit, I'll find that goddamn shirt he was wearing.
maybe, maybe.
What
Hmm.
was it, like Elmo?
Yeah, it was like Sesame Street or something, but it was was it like a parody of something? Fresh
Yeah,
Prince or
oh, like House Party.
yeah, 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 yeah. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if you found it. I mean, that's a true businessman right there. Using somebody else's stuff to brand their own. Oh man, that's crazy. So just because you have the tools, also remember that you also have to have the skills to use along with the tools. It's just because you have your color pencils and your sketch pad and your artist utensils still don't mean you know how to draw.
Yeah. My bad though, but I did find that joint.
Stop playing.
I did. I did. I really did. The
Come
same
on.
color and everything, bro. Like
Come on,
I
bruh.
really did find that joint. Like, hold up. I I just wanna. We cutting up right now, y'all. Give us a second. Like, I really did find that joint, bro.
Bruh. That's crazy.
All right,
That's upset.
cut up over.
That's upset. Been swindled. Oh man.
All we had to do was look online for it.
False advertisement, people. Come on now, do better.
False advertising appearing real.
Mm, mm.
That's fear talking. False advertisement appearing real.
And with that, we're going to slide into the topic.
Yo, like I remember at some point I was a little too like people be like trying to figure out like, yo, why you so pessimistic, bro? Like you just don't like working with people, bro. Like you don't trust nobody. I'm like, yo, here we go.
He's like, I got receipts. There's a reason. There's always a reason.
Yo, like that's it. Like yo. Or Bree was telling me yesterday, like, yo, you you really do got trust issues when it comes to these managers. I'm like,
Like I got
I can do a
receipts.
class on that. I can do a class on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but oh man, it's a slippery slope uh when doing that though, because like meeting that right person or meeting that person that's actually gonna push you forward instead of throwing you under the bus, you kind
Yeah.
of you kind of look at them sideways because you're like, all right, you're anticipating the punchline. uh
Hmm.
and I remember a while back there was a video of like some type of famous uh, uh I guess like therapist or something, the lady that does the couples therapy or something, and she's like,
The
you
one
know,
on TV,
I think so.
Iyanla,
It might be.
Iyanla fixed my life or something like that. Is that the show you talking about?
It could be.
Or you talking about something else? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
But she was talking to the young lady, and she's like, "All right, why do you treat him this way? Like he's doing all the right things. He's treating you well. He's respectful, and all this." And she's like, "Well, I've been down this road before, and I know as soon as I let my guard down, he's gonna
Yeah.
change."
Oh,
And she was just like, "But he hasn't shown anything to deserve that. Like there's nothing that would prove that he would do these things or
yeah.
treat you dirty."
Yeah.
And young lady was just like, it always happens, this I'm just sitting here waiting for the punchline. That's basically what she said. And it's
Like
like,
in those words in front of my man.
yeah.
Oh, I was like, hey, here's the punchline. I'm out.
I mean,
No, go
he,
ahead. Go
he he
ahead. Go ahead.
really he really cared deeply for her and whatnot, but it was just like she couldn't let him in. She couldn't open herself up fully to him because of the things
Yeah,
she's
shit
holding
that she
on
went through
to.
in the past.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but like at some point, yo, like you get tired as a as a man, you get tired of dealing with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, at this point, you just about to create a problem that don't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, if you waiting on the punchline and you acting like you waiting on the punchline instead of acting like my lady, we got a problem here. So I'm going to give you the punchline. I'm just gonna leave. Like, I ain't got to deal with this. And like depending on how bad it is,
Mm-hmm.
like it might be worth leaving. Like it might just be like my man might get to a point where he's just like yo, it'll be easier for me to go now than to deal with your shit right now. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like I'm out. So yeah. Um mm,
And the crazy thing with that is it's a it's a lose-lose situation because
it is.
he's gonna do that, and then she's gonna go right back to, oh, I knew this was gonna happen, and all this other stuff, and it it comes right back to that video I've seen. She was so focused on, the distractions, which would be like her past and whatever, and she wasn't focusing on the real problem, which was her. She hasn't dealt with, the pain of the past, so she's just gonna keep reliving it. It's just gonna
Right.
keep happening.
And
And
yo, like
mhm.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go.
I was gonna say what keeps baffling me in that situation is we when we do that, like it's easy to be manipulated. Like when people know your fears and your little nicks, like you can be manipulated easily like that. Like I ain't gonna say you should be like, have your guard up 24/7, but like it's certain things you just kind of, have to deal with yourself.
Hold up, break that down a little bit. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, people can manipulate your fears when they know 'em. Break that down a
So
little bit for me.
so like same situation, right? You you start a relationship and you kind of put like everything on the table. You're like, hey, I've been through this, and that.
Mm,
I I don't feel like going through this again. So, you know, uh, prime example, like my ex did this. So all men are kind of they're dogs, right? So
yeah,
all you'd have to do in that situation is come up to a young lady, treat her with the utmost respect, do all the opposite things of what she's saying that her ex did, and boom, you got her.
I mean, in a way, I'm like looking at that like, all right, so I really want to keep you, so let me not do what he did. So tell me everything that he did, so I cannot do that. Is that a bad thing?
Depends on your intentions.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, that's why I wanted you to break that down because somebody was like. Somebody mixed that up. Like I mixed it up. I was like, let me get some clarification on it. So yeah, you're right. You're right. So like some people they use it. What you're saying is some people use that as an influence to get into the wall like the Trojan horse.
Hmm.
They use that information to break in like the Trojan horse. I got you. I got you. Though once they get in, they do what?
Like I said, it depends on the attention. Some may, prove her right and make her fall back into, the same formula, or, the right person comes around, works with her. Once inside, he helps, fix the wall instead of actually like, well, fix her pain inside the wall instead of just like
No, no, no,
kind
no.
of,
You're right. You're right. They help mend the wall because the
mm,
wall itself is broken too, and they hiding behind the wall. They hide behind a broken wall trying to peek outside and let somebody in. You're right.
that's all I
Okay, yeah.
got.
I know for real. I know a
Mm,
few people right now that could listen to just the first few minutes of this podcast right now. It could help their whole life.
Come
Cause
on.
like it's some of y'all out here. It's mostly the women, bruh. Like you'd have been with somebody who has treated you like garbage, and for whatever reason you just can't let it go.
Mm.
Like you'd have been out of that relationship for a whole 10 years now, and moved on with your life, but it's just this one thing that you keep getting hung up on. So every time something happens to you, it's almost like, and I get it, because I'm gonna get to exactly what it is, but like y'all just keep going through the same exact thing, the same exact motion. You doing everything the same exact way, all for the sake of not getting hurt again. But in a sense, like if you playing the long game, which life is the long game, because
Mm.
don't nobody plan on living a short period of time. You trying to fight against time, but you trying to fight against the time that you lost and the time that you ain't even created with this new person that's in front of you. I'm
Ooh.
gonna say that again. I'm gonna say that again.
Ooh.
You trying to fight against the time that you lost with the old person, and you putting that on the new person in front of you. Y'all just met. Like you might have just met this person. You'd have been with your ex for like 15 years, and then you get with this new person. You've been with him for like 4 months, and now all of a sudden you putting that same pressure on him. You put you. It's almost like you ain't got closure from the last situation. It's almost like you just choose not to let it go. So every time something happened to you, my man could be leaving the house, my man could be going to the store to get some milk or something for your kid. Like he could be good. Like yo, I'm just going to the store. He ain't even thought about nothing. He'd have left his phone behind. You just like, oh, he cheating.
Mm.
He'd have left the phone at the house and everything. Oh, he up to no good. Don't I ain't no that's suspicious. Don't nobody just leave the house and not take their phone with them. And he come back and be like, man, I hope you ain't called me. I forgot my phone. Wait, what bitch you been with? Like, yo, like my man ain't even bro. Tell me you ain't seen some of these women do that, bro.
Yep. Yep. I mean, men do it too. Let's not just all put
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on women.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it goes right back to that video we've seen. That would be them, moving too soon, like flinching at every situation that happens, and then you have that your significant other looking at you like, yo, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
why
I
you why
was
you
thinking
acting weird?
I was thinking of somebody that I know
Mm.
personally who's done that to they man. So like that's where my
Come on.
brain was going. But I can remember, yo, back in the day, right? When I met my ex-wife, for whatever reason, she wasn't honest about her living situation when I first met her.
Mm. Mm.
So when we met up, we were just going to like meet up at a motel local to where she lives at, because she and I don't know, like she used to like telling me a whole bunch of different excuses as to why we were doing that. And I guess it was like the fact of like she didn't want me to meet her parents, or no, or maybe she didn't want me to know that she had a kid from the beginning.
Mm.
But she uh she avoided showing me where she came from and was hiding it, and that left a bad taste in my mouth. Like I kind of let it go over time, but like I realized that once I got into my new relationship with Alyssa, shit, like three years after I left the bride, um bro. Like I was in the same boat trying to fight against the same shit, because I thought Alyssa was doing the same thing, because she told me that she was living in Williamsburg, and then I saw her driving down 460, and I learned the hard way that you can actually get to Williamsburg driving up 460.
Come
I'm
on.
like, yo, she said she live all the way in Williamsburg, bro. Why she driving this way, bro? Like, hold up, what's going on, man? Like that, hey, nah, something ain't right about that. Well, yeah, um, that's what I figured out. Like at that point that I gotta,
Self assess.
I had some growing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I had some
Mm-hmm.
growing to do.
And this is why we're so big on being able to self access, because
Yeah,
all that was anxiety. If in both situations, with the previous bride and with you now, well, in the past, but in your current relationship,
yeah,
that anxiety was probably eating at both of y'all. Y'all had that, I don't want to show this part of my life because of XYZ, because of something happening in the past or something that's happened to me previously, that anxiety wasn't dealt with. So it led you to act out, to act a certain
you,
way, to, huh?
you saying anxiety, right?
Anxiety, yeah,
Like anxious? Okay,
yeah.
all right.
What?
Go ahead. Move past that. Go ahead. You got it.
But yeah, it led both of y'all to act out, act a certain way, act very negatively to your significant other at the time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because Alyssa had her own struggles coming into this relationship. She
Mm,
was telling me recently about the conversation that she was having with her sister and her sister Miranda. And I can't wait till Miranda actually get here so we can actually have that conversation. But she was telling me about like some of the stuff that she was telling her about like
mm,
how like about like our relationship or whatever. And like she was saying that she didn't necessarily trust me. Like she was talking about some of the things that I was doing, like the good things that I was doing for her while like when we were first together. And I mean, I think she kind of talked about it on the podcast too, because she was
mm,
just like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? Like I see you doing all of this stuff, like opening my door now. Like I had to beat her
mm,
out yesterday trying to run to the door to open the door for her, because like I still don't want her touching doors, but it's just one of those things. Like it's just me, but she didn't know that. She just thought that
mm,
it was just some dude trying to make a move on her.
mm.
So yeah.
Which, so, not to say that she was going that route, but that's another thing that uh people would put their own fear into you. Like they'll try to pass that on to,
Yeah.
friends, family, or whatever, just
People's
because
parents
they,
do it all the time.
oh, yeah,
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 because something didn't go right, or something happened, something that they weren't very successful in. Instead
yeah,
of you know teaching your child to be better than you were, or to at least try to do better, they treat it as taboo, or they treat it as like the roadblock with the orange cones, like, caution, don't go down this road. No, this is no, this is no land, we don't mess with that. But I mean, someone has done it before, someone has was successful in that field, that area. So instead of, like, I don't know, giving your child the tools to, or the putting them in front of the person, or putting them in front of the program that would help them, be better. All you do is you put up gates, you put up barriers, you hinder, you separate, gate off. You do all these things to not let them see it, which is
yeah,
it's weird.
yeah. And that's funny too, like, cause like you in a place where you fearful of something and you ain't never even seen it.
Mm,
Like in most cases, and like I'm thinking about like people's parents, like growing up. Like they would tell their kids something, and it could be based off of something they heard.
Mm.
And you ain't never experienced this a day in your life, but it was just something you heard, and then you trying to tell your kids that they can't do it because you heard that such and such went through this, such and such went through that. I got a friend who nephew
Mm-hmm.
and a distant cousin, they went through something, and they told me that it didn't work out. Like it's just crazy stuff, and it's just like every time something unconventional happens, you just always looking at the fact that it can go wrong. But why people don't talk about what can go right though when you discussing these things?
Because who truly knows what's gonna go right? And but I mean, the vice versa also. Like, how do you know it's gonna go wrong if you never tried? Like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right, exactly. They kind of reminded me of when like every time I'm about to travel somewhere, bruh, it's
Mm.
always one person that catastrophizes about some dumb shit.
Mm.
Every time, every single time. Last time when we went to Mexico, bruh,
Mm.
it was like a whole bunch of people talking about don't drink the water. I drank plenty of water when I was in Mexico and
or
came back just fine.
or they gonna kidnap y'all.
Yeah, we would get kidnapped. Alyssa was gonna be part of a drug cartels,
Trick.
sex trafficking ring. Um, I was going to have to sell drugs for the mafia. Like I'd have heard all type of dumb shit, bruh, from people who ain't never been to Mexico. Some
That's
who ain't never left Virginia.
that is wild. That again, back to the 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 fear of the unknown, right? They haven't experienced these things. They haven't been out of their bubble, their island of, what is Virginia, what is, this area basically. Like, some people haven't even been out of like a 50-mile radius of their hometown. Maybe 100 miles. We'll say 100 miles.
Nah, I'm gonna say 50.
Ready?
I'm dead serious, bruh. Some people only work at where we work at because it's close to where they live at.
Mm. And because of that, they just see all the negativity of, the news, what they see on social media. It's a lot of negative things out there, and they internalize that, and they just produce more negativity. Oh, you can't do that. That hasn't, no one from here has done that before. And it's crazy because there's a lot of people, like, if you go down the celebrity list or the artist list, whatever, there's people that have lived in the same town you've lived at that have done miraculous things. Like what? Chris Brown's from Virginia. Chris Brown is from where?
Appahannock.
Tavon. Yeah. Uh, Drake's from Canada, and then there's
Hold up, the Trey Songz is from Petersburg.
that's who I was thinking. Okay, I remember it was one of them. One of them was like real
Graduated
close.
graduated 6 years before I did.
Come on.
Yeah, from the same high school.
There you go. Oh shit. Okay. The prime example. And then yet you see greatness come out of your little small town. They're traveling the world, enjoying their best life, and you just believe you can't have something similar, or you can't have the same life they did.
It's ridiculous, bruh. It's ridiculous. So let's unpack this video real quick, man. I don't know if we can show it, but while I'm talking, Mark, you can go ahead and look for it. Maybe we can screen share it or something like that. Either that or put the link in the description for this podcast episode, which will probably most likely help our SEO for the most part. But anyway, So we stumbled across this video posted by Millionaire Mentor on Instagram, and we've talked about stuff that they had before and or that they posted before. And Mark and I found it on your computer, bro. Um, Mark and I we uh we just had both happened to see this same video, and I sent it to him, and he was like, "Bro, I literally just saw this video and was gonna send it to you." But it was a dojo, a kids martial arts dojo, and the little boy was getting trained. His sensei had a weapon and was standing probably like maybe 2 feet in front of him, and he was swinging the weapon at him. And like before my man could even swing the joint, my boy was ducking. Before he could even bring that joint from across his shoulder, my boy was ducking. So you got the joint queued up.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
All right. So my man said that, bruh, you gotta stop prematurely jumping to the floor. Like if you jump to the floor, if you move before the problem even come, the problem got time to redirect and mess your life up. So he said he ended up telling my man, "You got it." All right, go ahead. Never mind. He told my man that don't focus on the problem, or don't focus on the distraction. Focus on the problem. I am holding the distraction. I am the problem. Don't focus on the distraction. So once he told the kid that, he said, "Watch this. Focus on me. Focus on what
Mm-hmm.
I am doing. So when I swing, you duck. You don't swing when this weapon moves because the weapon is what? The distraction." He said he swung it, and my kid and the dude ducked when he was supposed to. So you got him up.
Yeah.
That's about all the stalling I can do.
Move, gotta be moving pace, moving quickly. Look at me, you can still see this, bro. Hands up. Deal with your anxiety. Just punch it down. No. Good. Relax. Nothing has happened yet, son.
We stand there, he got that.
You can respond on a what if you will get in
You
trouble.
got it. Spike that.
You have to wait some time before you make that decision. If you move too soon, move now, move just like you did, I'll abort. It just hit you in your head. Stand back up. Move when you think you should move on this weapon. You understand? Let's go.
Good. Shine. Set up. Shallows. Good.
All right, let's step it up. Back up, quick. There you go. Back up. Yes. Big difference. You got it? It's not this, it's me. I'm the problem.
Knees together. Knees together.
Keep your eyes focused on the problem, not the distraction.
When I saw that, bro, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a few things that's happening in my life right now that are looking like problems.
Mm.
They're not the actual problem. And like I was just telling a young man at our job recently, like, bruh, you dealing with shit that you think you mad at, bro. You ain't even mad at the real thing.
Mm.
It's a distraction. You just trying to distract yourself from the real problem, bruh. And well, I'm gonna let you go first, bro, because you know I'm about to get long winded.
Come on. My thing is, with that, the kid was anticipating his movements because he was focused on the distraction. And with that, it made me think of like how we hyper focus on things that just like
Elaborate.
I was like talking about hyper focus. We get so hyper focused on the small minuscule things that are just complete and utter BS. It's bullshit almost. Like you're at the job and the work is just alarmingly high and you're getting mad at your supervisor, your manager or whatever for putting you in that position to get the work done. But like the problem is it's above all of that. Like about time you have a problem or you think you have a problem at your job, like it's literally nothing you can do about it. Like it's already been through all the stuff it needed to go through. You're just dealing with basically like the scraps of all the decision making that happened way beforehand. And it it blows my mind because it's like we want life to be so perfect. Just like for some reason we got this big idea that this first go through of life is supposed to be perfect. Everything is supposed to be, the way we want it. We shouldn't have to go through any type of, adversity, no hardship, no nothing. Just this one playthrough, this one life that we have to live is going to be just immaculate. Everything's going to go right. Everything's going to be okay. Just perfect.
But nah, bro. I wanted to talk about what you just said, like, because there's somebody listening to this right now, and they do get mad at work, at their boss, their supervisors, their managers, whatever, the workload, etc. Like, for real, I see it happen all the time, bro, and it is pissing me off even just thinking about it because like a dude could be at work and he could be chilling. He could be chilling on the clock, just collecting money, like you just doing nothing. Like everybody getting their ass handed to them, they just chilling. But then all of a sudden, when they get work and it get busy for them, and they gotta exert all this extra energy and stuff. All of a sudden, they piss that like you come move somebody from their little quiet zone and then move them to where to work at. And then all of a sudden, they mad. And like I'm like, yo, what are you mad at? And you're like, oh, because I've just put over here to clean up stuff. I'm like, bro, are you here for 10 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you more upset about the fact that you wasting your time here? Or you more upset about the fact that I'm moving you from a quiet zone to like more than the fact that you wasting your life waiting for 5:30? Like what is that? There it is, the distraction. The distraction is the fact that you the distraction is the fact that you want to be doing easy stuff while you at work. That's the distraction. So like the heavy boxes, or like where we this is in reference of where we work at, y'all. So bear with us. So like you got somebody at your job that they shy away from the work, but when the tough get going, and they don't want nothing to do with the actual work. But when the tough get going and they got to get thrown up in that thing, they pissed. So they blaming everybody else. They looking at everybody else like, yo, like y'all should have been able to do this. This ain't I shouldn't have been able to like I don't want to do it. Like, and so they get pissed off that they actually got to do something now. But in the reality, like this ain't got nothing to do with them having to work. It's the fact that they work instead
Oh.
of doing the things that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bruh, how is it that I'm looking at it like, yo, I gotta be here for 10 hours, no matter what I'm doing. I gotta waste my life being here. I don't make the money that I want to make. I don't have the time that I want to have. I don't do the things that I want to do. I miss things, bro. I just had a conversation with Alyssa about holidays, bro. And we were like, yo, we don't even know, like, we ain't celebrated a holiday yet, bro, since we've been together. Why? Because we've been working. Why is that not more of a problem than me having to go lift some boxes, bro? And I'm pretty sure somebody else having the same problem. We don't even know what holidays are, bro, because we work on them jokers.
Mm.
But we get time and a half, so we get paid not to think about it.
We get a incentive not to. Yeah.
So why is
That's
that? Why is that not more of a problem?
it's a sacrifice that we accept because we feel like the return is greater than.
But it's the distraction, bro.
Yeah.
Like I am more afraid, like for all intents and purposes, right?
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I go through my day to day, and I had to explain to my manager why I don't get flustered when it comes to certain things at work. I'm like, yo, I'm already afraid of being here for the rest of my life. So nothing that you think is that you perceive as a problem is perceived to me as a problem. It's just an obstacle because I've already been here, done that. So nothing that you're saying right now, like you can catastrophize about anything you want. I promise you, you can make it as big as you possibly want, bruh. But it's not a problem to me because my biggest problem is above this. So when you ask somebody like, "Yo, what is your biggest problem right now?" Like a man is only defined by the size of his biggest problem. So what is the biggest problem that you have right now? And I ask people that like whenever they get mad at work, I ask them that like, what is your biggest problem right now? Is it this right now? Like what we're going through at this moment, is this your biggest problem? And most of the time, no, it's not. So what are you upset about? You should be more upset about that.
Bruh. That's just it. Because people, they're so fearful of losing their job. And they make that their main focus. They hyper focus on that, losing their job. Or, not being able to.
Nobody is afraid of that. I promise you, they're not. Nobody is afraid of that. Like you don't, I don't know if maybe you got a second job, but the people that I work, like the coworkers that we have in common, they don't have a fear of losing their job, bro. I promise you, they don't.
You sure? Well,
The way they talk to their management, they do not have a fear of their job, bro. They do not have a fear of losing their job. They are perfectly comfortable at the place that they work at. But that's also the thing. Your comfort is a distraction.
Okay. So maybe that's what I'm looking at.
Your comfort is a distraction. So the fact that you real comfortable at the job that you're at right now, that's a distraction. Yeah. Yeah. So because there's something that you want to do in life
Mm-hmm.
that you can't do because you too distracted.
Mm.
So your distraction paying the bills though. Be that as it may, being that your distraction paying the bills, you think that's the only thing you got going for you. So that's the only thing you do.
Uh-huh. That productive distraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I forgot we
it's
talked about that last week. But
yep.
yeah.
It's getting you through life, but is it helping you live life?
Mm, okay.
It's easy to, flow with the current and just, let it take you. You can travel down the same road, the same current, over and over again. But to actually explore and live, you have to go against the waves. You gotta, uh, I don't know shipping terms, but you know what I mean. You gotta get out that comfort zone. Like we've been saying before, you got to, uh, change. Like, how do you expect to get more out of life if you just stay the same each and
Mm,
every day? You live each and every single day the same as yesterday. And even your days off are the same as last week days off.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like you say that, and I talked to some of the people that we work with. Like, there's one guy always asks, "How was your weekend?" And I tell him every single week, I want as productive as I wanted to be, but I got a lot done. I tell him that every week, and he tells me the same thing every single week. Oh, I ain't do much. I just play video games and watch some anime every single week, bro. I just played some video games and watched some anime. And I'm thinking like, yo, over a over a 5 year period, bro, how much of a difference in lifestyle does that create for the two people? Like you got one person busting his ass, still getting up like, bruh, but still got up at 3:45 this morning
Mm.
on a day off. Meanwhile, you got people who are in our class. I'm gonna say class, because we all middle class
Middle
people.
class, yeah.
Like you got people in our class who are they would tell you that they would never find themselves getting up early on a day off. They don't get up early on the day they supposed to get up early. They would never get up early on their day off. I've had people tell me that. You get up at what time? Bruh, no, hell no. I'm not getting up that damn early. What the fuck you doing that early for? What the fuck you doing still asleep?
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
broke. But bruh, for real, they want to be comfortable. But mm,
How it's going.
mm. My man said your anxiety is crippling you.
Mm.
Your anxiety is crippling you. So when you show anxiety during the course of of the challenge, when you're in the face of the challenge and you show anxiety, the distraction has a chance to massacre you. So let's break this down, Mark. Help me break this down because I got a thought right now, and I'm trying to figure it out. Right, it's like a math problem working in my head, and I need some help right quick. Um, so like,
We got a distraction, right? It reminds me a lot of there was one episode we did, and I was talking about the interview that Kobe had did, and he was talking
mhm,
about how everybody should play a sport or do some type of uh physical challenging experience. Why?
yeah, yeah,
Because you have all that. You have fear, you have anxiety, you have, the fear of failing. You have all of that coming to you at one single moment, and you just have to do it. Like you
mm,
have to just fight through it. Like if you're, a football player, you have the fear of, letting your team down. You're the quarterback. You have the fear of letting your team down. You have the fear of, not making that goal. Uh, but like you have to deal with that in the now. Like there's no
yeah,
time for overthinking. There's no time for, complaining about the problem or the distractions. You just have to act. Uh,
yeah,
and that's what we feel short at with uh like day-to-day life. We get into this mental of, if I can't think or see it happening, then it's just not gonna happen for me. I'm gonna ride the bench. Like
yeah.
if you were in a sports situation, uh most of those people that we talk about on this podcast, they would choose to ride the bench. They have already been defeated before, the game has even started.
Mm. They took themselves out the game. They like, Coach, can I sit down, please?
Right. They
Oh,
they would be what
bruh.
you call like bench warmers, or
Oh, boys.
the Gatorade drinkers.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Waterboy. But
Hmm.
hell, even Waterboy played in the game more than some of these folks.
Big facts. Some of them just sit on the bench and drink all the Gatorade
What
before,
was his name? Bobby Boucher?
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. No, I'm trying to figure out a way to make it practical for everybody to hear, bro. Cause like I I I I I have a problem with um with people who just like they act like children when it comes to figuring their life out, bro. And like I look at most of them and just be like, yo, you grown. And most of the time they older than me, and I'm like, yo, you looking at the wrong thing right now. Like you creating issues for yourself, right? Like we know an old head right now who for whatever reason he going through stuff that people like financial dilemmas that people should be making in they early 20s. For whatever reason he going through this right now at the age of like 60 something, and he talking about committing suicide and all this other shit like that, like doing like crazy shit, like um acting out of character, disobeying orders and trying to sabotage stuff, bruh. And like, yo, you doing all that and it still don't solve the issue that's in front of you. So like some of y'all got stuff going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And your behind the scenes stuff that you don't want to tell nobody about is the stuff that's creating the problems that you see in your reality.
Mm.
Your behind the scenes stuff that you're doing is creating the problems that people actually see when they see you. And
Oh.
if for whatever reason you can't get it in your mind that the problem isn't the things that's happening in front of you, the things that's happening in front of you is a distraction, and what you need to be dealing with is the problem that you deal with when you by yourself.
Oh.
So as it pertains to some of the things that's happening in reality right now, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got a relationship, and for whatever reason, your spouse they acting funny towards you. They acting like every time you talk to them, they giving you the cold shoulder, one word answers or whatever. But for whatever reason, you can't stop masturbating when you're not around them. So whatever reason, you're not giving them what they need on the front end, and you thinking that it just something wrong with them. So I'm gonna just keep going ahead to do what I'm doing on the back end. But on the front end, you just like fuck her. So she, at this point, and I want to make it clear, at this point, the spouse is the distraction. You looking at the problem with the spouse as a distraction, but what you really need to be dealing with is what's going on internally, what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on with you. The stuff that you think you hiding from the world is really, honestly, most of the time, the real problem. And some
Mm-hmm.
people can't look at themselves, and we talked about it, the inability to self-assess. Most people they look at everybody else as the problem. And meanwhile, that you get to do you you get to be the fuck up that you always been behind the scenes, and just think that ain't nobody supposed to see that. But you don't understand that the things that you do when nobody is looking, the things that you do when nobody is looking is the thing that creating the problems. And I'm gonna be real with you. Anybody with a brain know that the problem is you.
Mm-hmm.
You the only one that don't know. So I'm trying to figure out like why is it that people are walking around like thinking that they shit don't stink, and they creating the problems in front of them like for real. I just told y'all, I just told y'all there was a dude who when he worked with us. And I just listened to the episode yesterday, bro. It's funny. It's hilarious. I said it on that episode that bro, come on, dog. Hold up, bro. Hold up. Hold, wait a minute. Wait a second. I'll tell you exactly what episode it was too, and how long it's been since that episode aired. And I want to note these signs that ever I hardly ever come out and tell it, just be like, yo, I was right, you was wrong. I mean, I usually don't say stuff like that. It was November 23rd, episode 112. You not ready for the move, right? I want you to catch this. Real problems versus real distractions. I want y'all to catch this. I said on that episode, and I'm listening to it for a reason. I don't just like to hear myself talk, I promise. I'm writing a book about some of the things that we talked about on the podcast. It's just for anybody who wanted to know why I'm going back to listening to episode 112. But I said it on that episode. There was a clown that we work with, and he couldn't get out of his own head. Everybody else was the problem. He was perfect. This environment sucks. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go find something else. I told my man, like, bro, the grass ain't green on the other side. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but I promise you, I know for a fact that the problem that you're having is not the problem that you think that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what do you mean? I said, bro, you looking at the job as your problem when there are things that you need to work on personally that you're not dealing with, that they're going to come back and bite you in the ass. Like I straight up told my man when he told me, he said, I'm leaving. This is going to be my last week. I'm going to find another job. I'm like, bro, you can do that. But I just want to let you know that there's something that you need to deal with first before you do that. If you don't, you just going to go do the same thing over there. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened after he left our job, but for whatever reason, he came back. I told him straight up, like, and I said on this episode on You Not Ready for the Move,
Mm-hmm.
don't even fuck around with it. Go ahead and resign to be on good terms. Go on, take an extended leave because you are going to come back. I didn't tell him that because I knew he was going to fail in the other place. Mark, can you shine some light on why I told him that he might want to go ahead and put in the leave because he was going to be back?
Cause
You
he's
got it.
back. He's back now. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I want to make it clear exactly why I told him that. I didn't tell him that to be malicious. I didn't tell him that to be mean. It was part of the entire conversation
Mm-hmm.
that he needed to work on something that he was trying to avoid. We talking about somebody who's 35 years old that lives with his parents. We're talking about somebody who the only bill that he has is a car note and insurance, and for whatever reason he ain't never got no money in his pocket. We're talking about somebody who they ain't never been in a real relationship. We're talking about somebody who ain't never been nowhere. We're talking about somebody who ain't never did anything in his life of significance but worked the job that he's working at. We're talking about somebody with some real life problems, a fully adult kid. That's what we're talking about right now. So when I told him that these are the things that you're going to have to work on, he looked at me with I was dead serious with him. I was like, yo, you hold up. I took my vest off. I'm like, yo, let me talk to you man to man. Because I'm like, yo, I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to get you to do something. I'm just trying to get you to go to work, go do work or whatever. Like, whatever you think and like whatever preconceived notion you got right now, me, right now in this moment, I need you to pull that back. We need to talk man to man. We need to have a real full man to man conversation because right now, what you about to do is waste your fucking time. It hasn't even been a year yet, and he's already trying to come back to get that job. What I told him was that, dude, you have something in the background that you need to work on. That there's a mentality, there's a mindset break that you have that for whatever reason is keeping you from doing the things that you need to do. It's keeping you from focusing on the things that you need to focus on. And you're looking at this right here, what's going on around you as the problem. But what's really the problem is what's going on inside of you. And most of you are having issues inside of you that for whatever reason you're trying to ignore because you're just saying, yo, yeah, that's just me. I was raised that way. Yeah, that's just me. Or I am justified because this is me. I am justified to feel like this. So when you go out into the world, you start looking at other things as a distraction. And what I told my man is that when you leave here, you're going to have the same exact problem in the next spot because you're dealing with things the way you want to deal with them, but not how they're supposed to be dealt with. So when you get there, let me know how long it takes for you to start having the same problems. Because you will have the same problems because you are still you.
Whew.
So in this conversation of distractions versus real problems, I need y'all to deal with the real problem. I need you to deal with the stuff that's going on inside of you because once you deal with those things, bro, that's when things start to change. I read somewhere recently, right, that procrastination don't happen because a person is lazy. Procrastination happens as a result of some internal struggle that comes with executing. Bruh,
Mm.
the stuff that changed my life right there. Procrastination don't come with it's not the procrastination is not the real problem. The problem that you procrastinating is just a byproduct of some kind of internal struggle that you have with actually getting off of your ass and doing something. And that's the reason why. And I had to deal with. I thought that me doing writing for 10 years. I thought like okay, you know I just didn't want to do it. I just want to do this. I want to go be a rapper. I want to be a
Mm.
YouTuber. I want to be a podcaster. But whatever the case is, I want to do everything but write the things that I want to write. But what I realized was that I was afraid of doing it because there was a big corporation out here already doing it, and that's what made me drag my feet on it.
Mm. That fear, and
It was the distraction, bro.
it. How do you expect change if you don't change? The people we're talking about, they're stuck in their ways and they will complain and fight and damn near catch an attitude with you, and you're just trying to better their life, and all they
Yeah,
want to do is they just want to be stuck in their comfortable ways.
yeah,
And it's crazy you mentioned the person that you're talking about, because we also have a person uh that I just learned recently um is looking for another job, but they always take VTO. They're never at work. uh I don't think this person has even made over 20 hours in the past months. They haven't had like a full 20-hour work week, but yet they're
just
complaining
bought a new
about.
car.
Stop playing.
Little short dude with the beard.
Yep. Uh.
And just bought a new car. Brand new. Brand spanking new. Still got the new car smell coming out that thing.
But complaining about he ain't got no money. All right. Looking for another job though. All right. Yeah. You gotta do better, people. Like, it's 9 times out of 10, or even 100 times, just
Did you?
it's you. The
Did you?
problem is you. Once you fix you, once you change you, life would be so much easier. Life would be so much better. And it's not
Yeah.
even because I listened to something recently and they were talking about how people get in their mind that you have to have this one extravagant event to change your life. But it's the systems you put in place, the habits that you install
Yeah.
in yourself that
Yeah.
compound into making you a better person.
Right.
But we that lottery syndrome that you were talking about, we just want
Yeah.
that instant gratification, that instant change, that instant I won the big ones and now my life is
Right. Like,
Gucci.
yo, folks think they could just be the person that they are and just stumble across a big opportunity, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we do stuff, when the central media makes accomplishments, they think that we just had this idea and we just did it. We just like put it there. Like, yo, like we've been working up to this. Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever comes to us at this point. Like I don't know what episode this is. I'm gonna be real with you. Um, but whatever comes to us, we've been working towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm building something right now in the background that don't nobody even see happening right now. So when it happens, like there's gonna be somebody looking at me like, yo, you the man. You did that. Like, yo, that's amazing. That is
Mm-hmm.
awesome, bro. Like, yo, how did you make that happen? Like, and I'm like, yo, I've been getting up at 3:30. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Grinding.
what you want me to tell you, bro. I've been grinding, dog. Like I've dealt with whatever BS you think that I got going on in my life because you see me as somebody at work that I don't know. I've been working towards this. So like when when people come up and say things like that, bro, it makes me angry, yo, because I'm like, yo, you really don't get it, man. You really don't get it. And they wonder why I don't want to talk to them, man. It's hilarious. Like since we get on that topic, like, yo, I want to tell y'all, like, it works. Like I just watched a young man, somebody that we talked about on this podcast before, who was in a negative mindset. And when I talked to him and had a conversation with this young man and made him reflect on what he was and what the perception of what he was to the world, bruh, he made a shift.
Mm-hmm. So big of a shift. I feel like I gotta go apologize to the man because I didn't counter him out. I was like, I was like,
I
no way. I was still
I
baffled.
really thought that he was the problem in his friendship with the other dude, bruh.
Same.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, bruh. Like I ain't know he was being dragged down like that, dog. I didn't know. He got
St-
a whole anchor on him too.
Still think I'm in a
And that
parallel
thing is
universe.
heavy. That thing is heavy, bro. He done got inclined for a promotion and everything, dog.
Mm.
I'm so shocked right now. Meanwhile, you got other people who they looking at the fact that they getting cross trained in the other departments as a distraction.
Mm.
Hmm. But we ain't gotta go there.
Oh man. All right. So we have prime examples that, focusing on you, looking at yourself as a problem, not even as a problem, but being able to self-assess and figuring
Uh,
out what
yeah, yeah,
you
a
need
problem.
to do. This is that problem. Figuring out what you need to do, what you need to install, what you need to read, what you need to just change about your life. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's not something drastic. It's not something that, you gotta uh I don't know, quit your job, quit the relationship you're in. It's a small little shift.
Know what I'm saying though, like we said it before, like yo, stop giving your power to other people, bro.
Mm,
Stop
yep.
giving your power to other people. Like if you having a challenge right now, look at you as the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you as the problem first before you look at anything else as the problem. Why am I in this situation? What did I do to get here?
Mm-hmm.
What made me do this? Like, come on, bro. Like, yo, stop giving your power away, man. Like, damn, bro. Like, it's that easy. It's that simple. Fix it within first, bro.
Yeah. And another thing with the shift, a good example for it was the video about the plane. I think they said a significant of 80, 80 inches, 80 inches.
No, hell no.
No,
1 inch.
one inch.
If you leaving from New York
Mm-hmm.
going to Los Angeles, a plane going in the wrong direction by 1 inch
1 inch.
could send that plane over 120 miles to the left or the right or of its destination.
Uh, Come on.
By the time it goes 3,000 miles, 1 inch.
Dang.
That's
That's
the
crazy.
power of the compound effect.
That's crazy. Boom. Prime example. One little shift, one little point into the right direction can have your life immaculate. Like I ain't gonna put my too much of my business out there, but I've just been doing a couple of things in the background and shit just been handed to me and I'm like, whoa, what, whoa. Like I'm just trying to live my life, trying to do the right thing. Just doing all the right things build up. Like I know at one point it kind of seemed insignificant or like it won't never gonna be, that way or whatnot, but your actions, they build. It's a snowball effect. It might be small, might be a little snowflake at first, but it builds into a mountain. And all it takes is one little shift, one little point in the right direction, a book you got to read, advice you got to get from a friend. Listen.
Podcast you gotta listen to.
Exactly. Listen and learn, people. That's all it is.
All right, that's a bar. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trump Podcast, where the elephant has always been welcome. The elephant has come. The elephant has now gone. We have far over our time for this episode. We hope you enjoyed this message. We hope you will apply this message.
Amen.
And stop playing.
Get out your own way.
Always remember that those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aaron Mack. That is Marcus Morton. This has been the Dirty Trump Podcast. We will see you guys next week.
Love you guys. See you next week.